Here we are, Universal Studios Japan, Osaka. Can't wait, really exciting to finally enter the quest for immortality in Halloween Horror Nights Japan. Come join us. So we just completed our first haunted house of our quest for immortality, all 4 Halloween Horror Nights, 4 consecutive weekends. We're here in Japan, Universal Studios, and we just finished Universal's Monsters Legends of Fear house, the first haunted house. And it's crazy because it's like 2 p.m. here, and this is the only Universal park that I believe has Halloween Horror Nights during the day. The house was great. 5-minute line, unlike the hours that we wait in the other Universal Studios. And it was also very, we could really get into, be by ourselves in the house. It was not a conga line, it was just us two. It was fantastic. What were your thoughts, Patira?
It's pretty good. I mean, the detail and everything, I think Japan did very, very good job on that. The scary, a lot of, what's it called, the actors?
Characters, I believe is what Universal calls them.
There's a lot of them in there. It's not just like a fake figures, but...
And it was great. Again, just going through us too, like every turn we go through, we're getting every scare. So we just finished the Chucky house, Chucky Carnival of Chaos, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? I really liked it. It was a 3D house, which normally I don't like. Again, we will go down our top list of houses later, but I enjoyed it. Did you like it?
I do, but I don't like the 3D part, but it's give you new experience. But most of the time I do it without 3D glasses because it makes me dizzy, but yeah, it's good.
We've had a crazy day between the haunted houses. I wanted Patira to do Jaws because she was never able to do it in Florida. I don't even know if they have Jaws in LA. I know they don't in Singapore. What did you think of Jaws?
Good, it's pretty cool. I don't know why they canceled it, but they should keep going. It's like very classic.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It was a great ride, all in Japanese, so the tour boat captains were speaking Japanese, but it was, it's a classic. I haven't rode it in probably 15 years, so it's fantastic to do that. And now we head to basically the zombies, which will be coming out as the sun sets here in Japan and in Osaka, which is happening now. So we're enjoying these beers before we have to run. That being said, we did just finish Biohazard, the Resident Evil house. It was not what I was expecting. You did have to QR code in, so we had to set up a special time for us to go. You don't just wait in line for it. It was interesting, and it's different from most haunted houses because you go in with like a group of 10, and each area of the house, there's various shows. So you go in like a group and you go to each section one by one. Then there's this one really cool interactive part where everyone gets guns and starts shooting the zombies. So really, really cool. What did you think?
It's good. It's cool. It's like feel like you're part of the game, some sort of part of the movie. The zombie like ran around and chased you, and it was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. So as the sun sets here in Osaka, we drink our beer and we prepare for the herds of zombies. All right, so Halloween Horror Nights Japan, Osaka, finally complete. You'll actually notice by our background, we're not in Japan, nor are we in Thailand where we were headed. More about that later. We did go to Thailand. We haven't had a chance though to sit down and actually go through Halloween Horror Nights in Osaka. So we're getting ready to attend Halloween Horror Nights Singapore. And before we do that, we want to wrap up Halloween Horror Nights Japan. So you guys have ordered about the houses. You guys have heard all that. Let's talk about our top houses. Tira, do you want to lead this off, or do you want me to go first? We'll start number 3, 2, 1.
You go first.
Okay. My number 3 house, and this was pretty much by far Universal Monsters Legends of Fear. It was a good house, but compared to the other two, to me, there was no competition. What was your number 3 house, Patira?
Mine was Chucky.
Number 3?
Yeah.
Your worst house?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I don't like the fact that have to wear like the glasses, the 3D things. I'm not a fan of it because I wear the glasses and it give me like a difficulty to wear the double glasses. And
did it make you dizzy at all?
it is. It's made me a little bit dizzy, but it's good. It's tough, but mine was Chucky.
Wow, interesting. This is
Good.
very interesting. And
Good.
just so you guys know,
The worst one.
while it's been almost a week since we attended Halloween Horror Nights in Japan, we have not talked about our favorites. We made sure we kept that for this video. So moving on to number 2, why don't you start this one, Tara? Your second favorite house.
The Monster.
Universal Studios.
Monsters.
Universal's Monsters Legends of Fear.
Yeah, that's not my second.
Okay, so again, that was my third. My second was Biohazard, which for those outside of Japan, I believe all know it as Resident Evil. Resident Evil was developed in Japan and is called Biohazard in Japan, but when they developed it for at least the US, it's Resident Evil. That was my number 2 house, and it was close because I really liked the fact that it was interactive, and again, there was only a limited amount of people who went through at each time, and they would tell a story. So everyone got to see everything. There's nothing you could miss. There was no jump scares that could potentially get someone in front of you or back of you. You all got the full experience. That being said, there was one big flaw with it, and we'll talk more about that when we get into the overall pros and cons of Universal Studios Japan in general, but specifically Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to number 1. I think you guys can do the math and figure it out. My favorite one was Chucky Carnival of Chaos, which is surprising for me because it's a 3D house, and I usually do not like 3D houses. But this one, with just the details and the 3D glasses, was a nice added touch. It did make an impact towards the second half of the house, but just as you could go through all the iterations that Chucky has had through all of the movies and now the TV show, you could see a lot of various pieces in that, and it was just a fun house. I think I came close to having my biggest jump scare in that house, which always goes a long way. So that's why I'm going with Chucky Carnival of Chaos as number 1.
Mine is Biohazard.
Biohazard?
Yeah.
So Resident Evil. Why is that?
I like it. You become like a part of the haunted house, the part of the kind of game.
Very interactive.
I like it. Yeah, the zombie is, chasing you. It's fun. It's fun, and it's they let 10 people at the time to go into the house, so it's not the whole thing would be yours. Not do not have to be worried about people behind you or in front of you. So I think I like it. I just like it. It's something new, so I don't think
it was definitely something new and something I've never seen.
I don't think there's this in the past. I have attended the haunted house become a part of game of some sort, but this one is really good.
Yeah, I've never seen it at any of the other Halloween Horror Nights I've been to. Again, there's a part where you get a gun, you're basically playing a video game on a big projection screen.
The zombie coming out, if you didn't complete the mission, you die in the end. So this was cool.
Yeah, and that's right. You live or you die at the end.
Yeah,
we
live or you die,
lived once, we died the second time. So yeah, that's our ratings of the house. Let's move on to our overall pros and cons and just feelings of Universal's Halloween Horror Nights in Japan. I'll start with this one. One of the pros, maybe the biggest pro that I saw, is that the ticket for Halloween Horror Nights is included in the general admission. You don't have to pay an extra price for that. So you get to experience the entire park along with Halloween Horror Nights. All of the houses are accessible during the day, starting I think from like 10 a.m. onwards, and then what they call like the roaming zombies and stuff like that starts once the sun goes down. Yeah, so because it's spread out over the course of the whole day, the wait times for the houses, I don't think we waited more than 30 minutes for any house.
No, I think it's less than that.
Yeah.
Like
except for
15 max.
Yeah, except for Biohazard, which you have to do the virtual line, but so you may be waiting an hour or two, but you're not waiting in a line. You can do whatever else you want, and then you go back at your designated time to have the experience. Again, overall, the whole thing was very affordable.
Yeah.
As well. Like, we're buying T-shirts and stuff like that, and other souvenirs, and it's like $20. I mean, the shirt I have on right now, it was like $20. It was not expensive. Even the food and drinks, overall, were very affordable.
Yeah.
I think compared to what we'll be paying when we get to the U.S.
Yeah. Yes.
What else do you think, Batira? Pros, cons?
The time, I think that we not have to wait, wake up in most of Japanese, they go to the park like 6 or 6:30 a.m. in the morning to wait to go in there and do everything in the park, I think in one day. But we just kind of, what do you say, we just leave the hotel at noon time and we still do everything. So it's not not like packed that you have to wait in the long line for like the ride or the things like that. But I think it's very many, I don't know how to say that, the many time and people. It's not like crazy line. I don't think we spend more than 15 minutes even in the line for everything.
Any more pros before we move to the cons?
The weather was beautiful.
Oh, the weather.
The weather in Osaka was beautiful that day for some reason.
So I can't count weather as a pro or a con, but knowing, in August it is brutally hot and humid in Japan just in general. And we're in Singapore, which is almost by the equator now, and I'm sweating a little bit, but compared to Japan in August, this actually feels cool, which is crazy. Let's move on to the cons.
Yeah.
So, cons for me, there are only 3 houses. I would have liked to have, more. Again, I think Japan has had Halloween Horror Nights. I think the Orlando and Hollywood have had it the longest, and then Japan and then Singapore. But they're not really updating their house count. The other con for me is just the scare zones. In general, the scare zones were street zombies and Zombie to Dance. Zombie to Dance was more of a show where you have like a concert going on. We did get to catch that. It seemed pretty cool. So I don't really have any comment about that. It seemed like something that would pump people up and had more of the traditional Halloween Horror Night feel. The street zombies were just spread out throughout the park. There wasn't really that many of them, and it didn't really tell a story to me. They're all just different kind of characters. There was not really much props. There were only like 1 or 2 props per area, so just completely different from the other Halloween Horror Nights we've experienced up to this point.
Yeah. According to what he said, the Halloween vibe is not there in Japan. Like it's not there. It's very small vibe, and it's not make you excited. It's not make you like, oh, this is Halloween. It's not there. But people dress Halloween costume, and
Oh, that is one huge thing.
Anime costumes. So people like dress up. They really cool like dress. Like some of dress like a Dracula, but walking during the day. It's just the vibe is just not there for me. But
that is one huge thing we forgot to mention. In Japan, for Halloween Horror Nights, you are allowed to come in costume. And there were some fantastic costumes we saw, from cosplay to various horror movie references. And they even have like changing areas where you can change from your regular clothes
they
to
have
your
a changing
costume.
room,
And I think, as all of you have been to Halloween Horror Nights outside of Japan know, that's not allowed, besides face paint and normal clothes. So costumes were encouraged at Halloween Horror Nights Japan. I do agree, though, that even with that, I have one of my big negatives was actually the atmosphere. One of the biggest things I like about the atmosphere is it's almost like a party, party of people who love Halloween and love the horror genre. I didn't get that in Japan. People were very, I would say, rigid and proper. They're not, the fun atmosphere to Halloween Horror Nights to me was not there.
It's not there, The vibe is just not there. Compared with the past that we went, like it's just not there. It's just something.
Yeah.
It's like additional extra fun in Universal Park in Japan, but it's not like the whole Halloween thing that you're looking for in Universal. So I think it's the big disappointment.
Yeah, I agree. We're looking forward to going to Singapore tonight, and we'll see how that is. We'll comment more as we continue this journey. The final comment I had, and this is on the low level, it's not a huge deal, but this is why Biohazard came in number 2 to me instead of number 1. That was, in Biohazard you actually had to do things. It wasn't just you see things happening or there's scares. You actually had to complete tasks to get to the next room, and it was all done in Japanese. So the language barrier was really prohibitive for us to be able to partake in the games or even understand what's going on. Again, it's a minor thing, but it would be good if, in the future, obviously Universal's a tourist destination, Universal Studios. It'd be good in the future if they could, maybe have, when you do the virtual line, a foreign-friendly line that can be done in multiple languages.
Yeah, they have the sign in English, but the sound in there when you want to tell you something or like tell you something to be a part of the haunted house, they just speak Japanese. But it's our fault that we cannot speak any Japanese. But Universal is kind of the big theme park in the world, so maybe it would be nice if you make like English speaker friendly.
So, final thoughts on my end. Really enjoyed it. It was our first time going to not just Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights Japan, but also Universal Studios Japan. I enjoyed it overall. I do say I am skeptical where it will end up in our overall list of Halloween Horror Night rankings in terms of actual theme parks. But we'll see. We're here in Singapore now. We're going to be going to Halloween Horror Nights Singapore tonight. Yeah. But overall, if you're in Japan, it's definitely something you need to check out. If you're in Japan during October, check it out. What are your final thoughts, Patira?
Good. I like it. The whole new thing is you do during the day is kind of worth the money. Like you buy just one ticket, do Halloween, do the day park, whatever you want to do, the Nintendo. It's covered in one ticket, but I think the Singapore you have to buy separate ticket.
All the other ones separate tickets. Yep.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. Overall it's good, but if you're looking for like a Halloween vibe, Japan is not. It's not the best answer so far.
I agree. And just so you guys know, while Japan was our first stop in Halloween Horror Nights, both Patira and I have attended Singapore before in the past, and Universal Studios Florida. So Anyways, it was a great time. Happy we were able to do it. Now we're here in Singapore getting ready to attend Halloween Horror Nights Singapore on our quest for immortality, which continues. So check out our next video to find out more about Singapore. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.
Eternity